Have you ever told a lie to see how fast your reputation would be destroyed? I had lived in Meadow Springs for about 6 months now, and I realized that small towns are full of people who gossip and spread rumors. I wanted to test this out, so I told one person a secret, my closest friend, Lucy Higgins. I told her that I was having a secret affair with Mayor Jamies. It was a lie, of course, but I chose him because he was the most popular man in town and seemed to know every single person who lived here, and he was married to the sweetest woman alive. Lucy was shocked as I expected her to be. I also expected her to completely shun me after I told her that, and she did. But not only that, she told everyone. The whole town found out and rumors started spreading. Everything thought I was the desperate woman who stole Mayor Jamies away from his poor wife. It started with Sharon Winters crossing the street when she saw me coming, avoiding eye contact with me. She was one of the women in the book club I've been attending since I moved here. Now she couldn't even look at me. Then a regular who would buy cakes from my bakery all the time canceled a big order. Nothing personal, you understand, she said in a hollow tone. We just decided to pursue a different direction. Then she hung up without giving me time to protest. I lost all of my friends. No one called to check up on me and see how I was doing. Then on Sunday, Pastor John told me to sit in the back pew, that it might be more comfortable for someone like me. He had a hard time keeping the disgust off his face when he told me that. I left church before it started, face red with anger. Then my kids came home from school on Monday, tears on their faces. No one will talk to us, complained my daughter Annie. Someone shoved me on the playground today, said I belonged in the dirt like my whore of a mother. I froze and couldn't even reprimand her for her language. I wasn't expecting this little experiment to reach my children, but that was taking things too far. I started documenting everything, recording every mean thing someone said while I was out shopping, filming my babies crying about being abandoned at school. Then a couple of church ladies stopped by my house. They brought a casserole, a Bible, and pamphlets about infidelity and affairs. I swallowed down a lump in my throat as I listened to their little intervention speech. They rested their hands on my body and prayed for me while I stared straight ahead, blankly. Then they left after I promised to think about what they said. The town hall meeting is this Saturday, one of them said. You can confess to everyone there and beg for forgiveness. I wanted to slap her, but instead I sat frozen as I waited for them to leave. Then I put my head in my hands and cried. Someone knocked on my front door and I opened it to find Romana Richards standing on my porch with a bowl of cookies in her hands. Everyone knew Romana. She tried telling everyone years ago that Mayor Jamies was sleeping with her, but no one believed her. She lost everything because of that, and now she was the woman that no one wanted to be around or be seen with. She was the town pariah. I brought cookies, she said with a small smile. I smiled back and let her in. We sat together and laughed and cried, and then she left, promising to stay in touch. We became friends after that. She was the only one who stuck by me through this. But after my son came home with a black eye, I knew the experiment had to end. I couldn't let my kids suffer the consequences. So I waited for the town hall meeting, where I knew everyone would be. I gathered all of my evidence and headed to the courthouse where the meeting was taking place. When it came time for the townspeople to say what they wanted to say, I stood and everyone turned to look at me. It was so quiet you could almost hear a fly fart. I stood at the podium and began. About a week or two ago, I told someone I thought was my best friend that I was having an affair with our mayor. I said. That was a lie. It was a little experiment I was conducting to see how long it would take for the town to turn against me. It didn't take long at all. No one spoke. Everyone seemed to be holding their breaths. I began playing the recordings and showing my documented proof. Shame on you for treating me like this, I spat. And shame on your kids for hurting my kids, who are completely innocent in this. I shook my head in disgust. Then Romana stood up suddenly, face red with anger. I told everyone our mayor was having an affair with me years ago and no one chose to believe me, yet they believed her instantly. She pointed at me with a shaking finger. What I told you all those years ago was true. Our mayor is not the perfect guy you all think he is. Silence. I stared at her in shock. Then chaos erupted. Mayor Jamies' wife stood and started screaming and crying, turning her anger on her husband. The room started emptying out as the mayor and his wife continued their shouting match. Romana held her hand out to me and I took it gratefully. We strolled out of the courthouse together, heads held high.